Hi, this is Michael Gray with the Adult Health Promotion Project, Part 2. And my patient was, her name was Miss Sarah. She's a 71-year-old retired widower um, who lives on Social Security as well as a 401k pension plan, stuff like that. She lives at home with her caregiver, and she's a Caucasian, non Hispanic female. And so when I was interviewing her, she seemed pretty comfortable with the fact that, she was opening up about her health. She has multiple health problems, COPD, type 2 diabetes. She's got some physical injuries. One is that she has a right reversal shoulder replacement. And that is actually, even though she's done physical therapy, it still limits her range of motion. She's had a couple of spinal fractures. Still doing PT for that as well. She does get around her house fairly well. She uses a walker, and so when we kind of sat down, we wanted to talk about kind of the her health goals. What was some of the things that she wanted to improve, and kind of areas of improvement, areas of teaching. And so what I did was we decided that I looked at the Healthy People 2020, and the goal that I chose with that was increase the proportion of older adults with one or more chronic health conditions report confidence in managing their conditions. Like I said, she's a type 2 diabetic. I asked her, does she take her blood sugar every day? Does she, have an insulin sliding scale, and she said that she wasn't really good about taking her blood sugar every day, but that she did actually take the same amount of insulin every day. And so I realized that that was something that we needed to address. So the nursing diagnosis that I came up with was ineffective health management related to complex therapeutic regimen as evidenced by ineffective choices of daily living for meeting health goals. Now, some of the short term outcomes was that by 1 week, the patient would teach back simple dietary plans revolving around her diabetes. So, for example, carb counting, what were healthy carbs, what were not healthy carbs. For example, eating a banana, even though it has sugar in it, it does still have fiber in it, and is better than having a Krispy Kreme donut, which is delicious, but at the same time, not good for a diabetic. And then I said by 2 weeks, the patient will develop and show sort of improved dietary plans. Wanted to have her to start meal planning and then being able to present that meal plan to her caregiver, because her caregiver was the one that actually um, did actually fix the meals or would go out and, let's say, get takeout. Um, and so some of the long-term outcomes, I said by 4 months, the patient would show an improvement in blood sugar within the defined normal limits. So, not to exceed the 130, kind of keep it between there. And to also talk about how, if she isn't in a hypoglycemic state, what important food choices that she can make to raise that blood sugar fairly quickly. And then by 4 months, the patient would demonstrate system to monitor progress. So would that be a daily glucose journal? Would that be, um, showing some sort of uh, compliance with testing, maybe once in the morning, once in the evening, when you wake up, when you go to bed. Um, so some of the things that one issue that I brought up, uh, or that I identified, um, was that she was actually on a lot of medications. She had statins, a lot of cardiac medications such as amiodarone. Um, was taking digoxin, now is taking, she was on metoprolol, now she's on propranolol for because she was diagnosed with essential tremors. And so I asked her when did what times during the day do you take these medications? She said, well, I'll take them all at night. It's just easier that way. And I recognize that, there are some medications that are more effective, when they're not taking, for example, some medications like calcium will block the effect of the medication, or iron or anything like that. And she was taking vitamin D3. So what I did was I found online, I don't know if you can see it, but this is actually a medication chart, and I'm going to put it in the PowerPoint as well. But as you can see, up top it has a name, any drug allergies. Let's see if we can get a little bit of date of birth. And then you see with AM, it's different colors, and then with noon, it's another different color, and then with supper, it's another different color, and then bedtime is another different color. And I felt that that was quite important because with an elderly population, they can get very confused very easily. And so using the color coordination, here are your AM drugs, and I would actually go and I would take a bottle or take a highlighter or a marker or anything like that, and I would actually mark the medication bottle with what time of the day that she needed. So, for example, if she wanted to take her immunogen in the morning, I would take a yellow highlighter and label that yellow. And so if she wanted to take at noon, her propranolol, I would take a blue Sharpie and would mark that blue. And so this was also a good plan as well because this actually, let's see if I can hold it back a little bit. But this will show like she can actually put this in her purse. And if she was to have a medical emergency and needed to go to the ER, she has all of her medications, the dosaging, and when she takes it, all in one form. And then right at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it has, PCP, who her PCP is, the different, two different doctors, but you can list some more as well. Caregiver, next of kin, address, phone, fax, everything in one spot. So instead of, she goes to the hospital, she may be a little bit altered mental status, and they may say, well, what kind of medications are you taking? Well, I take a bunch for my heart. Well, what kind? This she has in one place with her at all times. And not to mention, like I said, it just simplifies it. So when we were talking about meal planning, I did bring up the diabetic meal plan. This is kind of what I showed her, and it breaks down sort of the my chart right here. So half the plate should be fruits and vegetables, mainly vegetables, and then 1/4 lean meats and another fourth different starches. And so I laid down carbohydrates and food. You can see cereal, grains and bread, starts of vegetables, and then fruits. And then, we talk about, a carbohydrate's a carbohydrate is a carbohydrate, but at the same time with type 2, they still can produce insulin. So wanted to show that, white rice was better, or brown rice was better than white rice. It breaks down slower. It doesn't spike up your blood sugar so much. And, usually, putting it in forms like a picture. I asked her how did she learn? What was the best way to learn? And she actually did say pictures. She did say colors. So I tried to get teaching methods that would reflect that. And, she was, like I said, not in any state of dementia, but, as you get older, you do forget. So actually having it in picture form, I think, would allow her to recall it better than just listing it down, because you get I'm like this, and I'm 35 years old, and I'll read this long list, and about a third in, I'm forgotten what the first thing was. And so I then did follow up with her, asking, has she been keeping a meal plan? And I will include the meal plan that I have, or that I used with her, in the PowerPoint, but it did list breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, and then it had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And before we went in and said, okay, for breakfast, you're going to have grape nuts, with half a cup of milk. And, we try to simplify it as much as possible, but still give some variety. So let's say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, she had grape nuts with a half a cup of milk and a banana. But then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, she would have, toast with jam, sugar-free jam, butter, and then maybe some turkey bacon or lean sausage patties. And so I asked her to also keep an insulin journal and, to actually set, little reminders in her bathroom or at the door to her room. Have you taken your blood sugar today? Um, Here's a reminder, take your blood sugar. And so we post different things around the house so that she would go and actually have her meter by her bedside so that when she saw the reminder, oh, okay, for example, she walks into the bathroom, oh, okay, I need to take my blood sugar today. And so then she could actually turn around, navigate towards the glucometer and take a reading, and then also have that log right next to her bed as well, so that she could take her blood sugar. She had a pen right there. She had her log right there. She could just write it down easily, and at what times that she had her blood sugar. Um, and she had a master's degree in math and was an accountant for many years. So, using some of those almost Excel type logs and whatnot actually fitted with what she did as a career for many, many, many years. Um, so some of my reactions and my feelings as the nurse teacher in this role was that uh, you know you can talk about the old maxim, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you can. The elderly population are still teachable. Um, you can actually formulate, if you take things slowly and you explain things thoroughly and you reinforce that teaching with examples, then I found that she could recall things earlier. So I would say, where do hey, have you updated your medication guide? Have you looked at it lately? Um, oh, by the way, where is your medication guide? Oh, it's in my purse, or, say, hey, have you been writing down your insulin? Yes, I have. Um, you know, Keeping it by her bedside. This is why it's important to keep your insulin log and your glucometer by your bedside so that you remember when you wake up, when you turn that alarm clock off, you look at it and go, oh, I need to go take my blood sugar. Um, and another thing I learned from this project was that um, we forget that simple little dietary things actually do make a big difference. When she was able to stay on a diet regimen, her blood sugar started to level out. The dips of her glucose weren't as prevalent. I had her call her doctor and say, if her blood sugar is this, kind of establish a sliding scale. If your blood sugar is between here and here, how many units do you want to take here and here? And I had her write that down at the outside of her log so that she can go, okay, my blood sugar today is 180. My doctor said to take 20 units, and so this also kind of reinforced within me, the importance of the importance of diet with health, and also diet as prevention of diseases. Um, so, I found this project to be very rewarding. Um, and like I said, the elderly do still have a capacity to learn. Um, if you give them the right amount of tools, the right amount of resources, they will learn. So, thank you very much for hearing my project, and I will have that PowerPoint with all the information very soon. Thank you very much.